Howdy, howdy, and welcome to But It Was Aliens, the paranormal comedy podcast where we probe allegedly true paranormal events to determine whether those events were alleged or true, or allegedly true. It's my turn to host this week, and my name is Kev. Alongside me, with no idea what's coming up today, is Mr Granville Moonwalker. Today, before we begin, I'd like to ask you, Mr Moonwalker, whether you remember a little film from 1988 called Child's Play.
Ade due dembella. Give me the power, I beg of you. Safe to say I do.
So you never heard of it then?
No.
Interesting.
It's one of my favourite horror franchises.
Is it
if not,
now?
Is my favourite horror franchise.
Very interesting.
And I refuse to watch the modern one that doesn't exist in my timeline of Child's Play films because it doesn't have Brad Dourif as the voice of Chucky.
When you say
Fucking sacrilege.
crikey, you're a little bit passionate there, aren't you? He rips off his shirt to reveal a Chucky shirt underneath. Opens his bag to reveal a Chucky toy.
I'm gonna go buy a Chucky shirt later.
Chucky, wanna play? When you say the modern one, do you mean the last film or the TV series?
The last film.
Okay.
It's in the TV series.
Noted.
There is one that caveat to that. I've seen series 1 and half of series 2. There is a scene in series
You're
1.
not the best at finishing once you started, are you?
I like to make things last. There is a scene in series 1 that is so funny that shouldn't be funny. It's almost like the back in 82.
Oh no.
When I see that scene, I lose it just like that.
I can't watch it then because we'll never hear the end of it. It will be in every episode.
Guess what?
What?
I have that scene on my phone.
Oh, gosh. Right.
We'll watch it at the end, though.
I'd like you just to keep Child's Play in the back of your mind. Don't lose your shit yet. Stop thinking of the scene. Just keep Child's Play in the back of your mind as we continue.
Okay.
I'd like to introduce you to Houston couple Emily and Matt Madonia.
Hi.
The couple would live with their daughter, Aurelia, and their other child, but we are heading back slightly. These folks were a beautiful young couple, the kind you'd be glad to have lived beside you in the neighbourhood. Good people. Emily was a violin player. Matt wasn't.
So, you've included a picture here, and I'm assuming by this picture that this is Emily and
It's
Matt.
Emily and Matt, yes.
He has a very sinister look in his eye.
Do you think?
Very
I think they just look
sinister
happy.
Look.
Maybe that says more about you than it says about them.
Look at that again. Sinister.
Yeah, okay, he's sinister. Aurelia?
I think it's Aurelia.
Aurelia, like many children, I can't help myself, loved the shit out of Disney's Frozen.
You loved that, didn't you?
I've never seen it.
Fucking lie.
Where did that come from?
You've seen Frozen.
I've not seen any Disney films other than Aladdin and The Lion King and I suppose Disney Pixar Toy Story.
Disappointed in you.
We've discussed this. I wasn't allowed to watch them as a child.
You're not a child now.
Yeah, exactly. The time is gone.
Go and watch them.
In the build-up to Christmas 2013, Frozen toys were all the rage, with the film having been recently released, and in Christmas shopping, somebody saw a talking Elsa toy doll from Frozen and they simply had to get it for Aurelia. On Christmas Day, Aurelia unwrapped the Elsa doll and she loved it. For those who haven't seen Frozen, Elsa is basically an ice princess queen person with magical frosty powers. Elsa speaks English.
I'm also, not going to lie, You say for those that haven't seen Frozen.
Yeah, including myself.
I was about to say, you're probably the only one that hasn't. I reckon all our listeners have seen it.
Right, okay. For me, who hasn't seen Frozen...
I'm not going to let it go.
Let us probe, let us probe. All was as you'd expect. Press the button on doll Elsa's neck and Elsa would recite random quotes from the Frozen movie or sing, let us probe, let it go, yeah. This Elsa doll was well loved. Aurelia had given Elsa a few smidgings of colour over the years with marker pens, as kids do, and Elsa had lived a bumpy life, so I'm not saying that Elsa was in immaculate condition by 2019 when these events begun, but what happened next was a little strange. Around the month of December in the year of 2019, Emily and Matt were chilling downstairs watching TV. The house was quiet. It was at that moment that Emily and Matt heard an unusual sound coming from the bedroom. Let it go. Let it go.
Instead of saying let it go, was it saying let me go?
Let me out.
Or were they having...
Let me out. I'm friendly. I'll be your friend.
Yeah, you told me to keep Chucky in mind here. So was Aurelia having conversations with the doll that kids shouldn't be having with the doll? In terms of, you're right, Mum is a bitch.
The knives are kept in the second drawer on the left. Why'd you ask?
I like to be safe.
Well, they do like to go to bed at around that time, and I'm sure I can go in and do that. Those kind of conversations.
With bleach? You stuck the TV remote where? Rewinding for a second. When Aurelia was first given the doll, when the necklace button was hit, Elsa begun singing and talking in English, but by 2015, living 2 years of that hard knock life, Elsa had begun speaking in English and Spanish, switching between the language intermittently. There was no option to change the language, and to be very clear, this wasn't a Spanish doll. So immediately, that's really weird. How the shit did Elsa learn Spanish? She sat there reading Spanish dictionary every night. After 2 years of switching randomly between English and Spanish, Elsa began speaking solely in Spanish.
She'd had enough. Okay.
Back to that sound in 2019. That unusual sound coming from the bedroom that Emily and Matt had heard was a Spanish voice. The parents went to investigate, and when they picked up Elsa, they discovered that Elsa was switched off. What's more, the Madonias realised that at this point this toy was 6 years old and they had never, ever had a replacement battery. How the funk was Elsa still speaking, let alone speaking in Spanish? Remember, this doll was well loved, played with every day. That should not be working.
How old was Aurelia when she got given the gift?
Oh, did I not say?
No.
I'm not sure it actually said in the research I read. Around 10-ish, give or take. A little bit younger, maybe 8.
I don't believe that this doll was well loved and used every day for 6 years. Like, it might have been kids...
Even if it was for 2 years, quite frankly, that's enough to blitz out a kid's doll battery.
I don't even think it's 2 years. Kids flip between things so often.
Well, you might, because you don't finish.
But... I was literally about to say, I'll fucking finish you in a minute.
You know that gif of Will Ferrell on the chair drinking the drink, and it's vibrating and it's going everywhere? I nearly had that moment just now with my coffee. I said that, then took a sip and I was shaken. Trying not to get high off my own supply.
So yeah, they will flip between toys quite easily.
Mm-hmm. Next one comes along, forget about the old ones. Toy Story style.
Unless they were the type of parents that only got them like, okay, you're going to get this gift, but then you're not getting another one for a while. However, still, 2 years is a long time.
Let alone 6 years.
If she's 10...
8 to 10-ish. Maybe 6. She was a kid, damn it.
6 to 12. It's a big jump.
Mm-hmm.
That toy doll's probably just sat there, not doing anything for a while.
Well, it's
got
gone
the
senile. It's been learning Spanish. I'd argue that it's been sat there doing quite a lot.
What's the... is it a company or a person that is known for teaching Spanish?
Both?
Rosetta Stone? Is that
The
what I'm
Rosetta
thinking?
Stone? That's not teaching Spanish. That's what was used to translate hieroglyphics, wasn't it?
What the fuck am I thinking of?
Not the Rosetta Stone, I assure you of that.
I don't know. We'll come back to that probably in another probe.
Wasn't there like a cartoon like Dora the Explorer? Not that, but that loads of kids started speaking Spanish because of it.
Yeah.
I forget what it was. But
Dora the Explorer.
Was it Dora the Explorer? Mm-hmm. Was she Spanish?
Mexican or Portuguese, I believe.
We'll probably finish this and be like, it wasn't that cartoon at all.
It was. Backpack, 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 yay! I only remember that because where I used to work used to be in a stockroom, and every now and again you would randomly hear that go off when no one was near it.
Haunted.
No, just the shelves of shit. So you could knock,
Don't
something.
destroy the dream. It
Just
was
knocks a
haunted.
box.
Ooh, ooh,
And it would literally just be that.
haunted.
Quite creepy when you're the only one up there and all of a sudden you just hear backpack, backpack.
That is quite creepy. Matt and Emily did what any good and sane parent would do. The parents sought the consent of their daughter and owner of the doll, Aurelia, and then swiftly threw that motherfucking doll in the trash. The garbage people came and the family thought nothing more of the doll. Gone. All was normal for a while. Life continued. But about a week later, Emily and Matt had lost an undisclosed item. Matt searched one room whilst Emily checked another. Suddenly, Emily heard Matt let out a blood-curdling scream. Ah! As Matt had opened a wooden storage bench in the living room, there sat, calmly inside the bench, on a couple of blankets, was Elsa. Elsa had returned.
You can't get rid of me. I'm your friend.
I'm your friend to the end. Pow. So the returning doll.
Threw it in the trash. Garbage came and went. Doll
The
returned.
problem is
There's no problem. Well, there's quite a big problem, actually.
they threw it in the trash, but we don't know where that trash was.
Outside, garbage bin.
Do
Garbage,
we know that?
Yeah, we do know that. Yes.
Is it
100%.
tall enough for a child to access?
Well, if we're going to be technical
Or
about
short
it,
enough?
a child could get a chair out there and climb in any height of bin, I suppose.
But we don't know how old Aurelia is. She might have said yes.
She's not free.
Well, it could be 10. Could be 12, according to you.
Yeah, could
So
be. It's possible.
she might have said yes to throwing the doll out and then decided, actually, no, I don't want to.
Love that doll.
And then went and got it and was like, I'm going to hide it from my parents, and hid it there.
Maybe she consented to it, but then she heard a voice at night.
Hey, Signore. Come to the garbage bin. I've got something to show you.
Why is Aurelia a man all of a sudden?
That's not Aurelia, that's Elsa.
Yeah, but she called her senor.
She's speaking
Not
Spanish.
Not senorita.
She's learning still. She can't be expected to be an expert overnight. My gosh. Your standards are too high, sir.
Those fucking books are going to bug me. I can't think what they're called.
Are you Googling it?
I'm about to. It's a Rosetta Stone.
The Rosetta Stone?
Mm-hmm.
What are you looking at? People already speak Spanish. You don't need to look at a stone from like 3,000 or 2,000 years
What
ago.
languages are available on Rosetta Stone? Arabic, Chinese, Dutch, English, French, German, Greek, Hebrew, Hindi, Irish, Italian, Japanese, Korean,
Oh, you mean
Latin.
the app?
That's what I was trying to think of.
It was named after the Rosetta Stone as in the real life thing. Sorry. I could have helped you so much earlier.
I was fucking right earlier.
I thought you meant the literal Rosetta Stone it's named after.
Prick.
Hey! Moving on. Emily and Matt knew that their children wouldn't go through the dirty trash, but they asked the kids anyway. The kids were confused. Clearly, it wasn't them.
Kids lie.
Not these kids. Meanwhile, the Elsa doll was definitely the same doll. It had the same colours and marker pen markings Aurelia had left on Elsa all those years ago. By this point, the family were getting really freaked out. The Madonia family all agreed to throw the doll out again, but this time they would be more thorough. Emily and Matt argued over who was going to do the deed as neither wanted to touch the doll, but eventually Matt stepped up to the plate. Matt wrapped the doll tightly in its own rubbish bag, and then the Madonias put that rubbish bag inside another rubbish bag filled with more rubbish. The Madonias then put those rubbish bags in the very bottom of the bin outside before piling a bunch of other rubbish on top. There would be no escape. The family watched from behind the window as their wheelie bin was collected on dark garbage collection day, and sure enough, the bin was emptied. The family checked their bin and success! The bin was empty. All was okay. The family actually had a holiday booked shortly after this collection, so they left as planned without a worry in the world. No more Spanish cussing and reappearing. Increasingly strong Elsa doll. What do you think happened next, Mr. Moonwalker?
The binman put in a report about this strange family watching them from behind their fucking curtains.
All peeping out.
Like they're scared of binmen. Oh shit, they're there.
What do they think's going to happen? The Elsa doll is going to pop out with a knife.
Oh, that's amazing. I also, at this point, don't think they're sane people.
The family?
A bit quick to rush to it being something paranormal.
Well,
and
they've already been
nothing-
freaked out, remember, because it's working when it shouldn't be. It's coming on when no one's near it. And it's speaking in a different language from what it should be.
But
And then it reappears after they've thrown it out.
the problem is, it could have been a doll that was created somewhere else and has been reset to its factory settings, or has something inside it that can switch between the two. But what they've not done is they've not taken the doll apart to see if there's a piece in there that is broken.
If there was even a slight chance that an object in your possession was paranormal and cursed, would you pull it apart?
I wouldn't immediately go to paranormal and cursed.
But neither did they.
They did.
This has been a gradual build-up.
And I would have just assumed that one of the kids had brought it in and was lying and would have just thrown it out. Again, I don't know if I'd have gone through the whole wrapping it in a bag, wrapping it in another bag and another
Double wrap.
bag and like getting rid. Or if they wanted to be really sure, if they're at this point knowing it full well it is a paranormal entity of sorts, tie it to a breeze block and throw it off a bridge.
Give it the mask from the Mask treatment. So you think they should have gone above and beyond with how they dealt with the doll?
I mean, either they act like rational adults or they go above and beyond. They don't sit in the middle. Peeping behind.
Would you not
a
escalate
sofa.
to that going above and beyond point, though?
No. It's a very quick escalation. It's...
If this happened to you, you'd do that straight away.
It's... Kids, did you bring this back in? No. You're lying. Chuck it out. If it appears again... Kids, did you bring this back in? No. Sweet. Breeze block. Rope. Off the bridge. I was about to name the bridge that we live near.
Imagine if, after recording this episode, we head downstairs from the towers and discover that Moxley is humping an Elsa doll.
I would find that hilarious.
No, señores!
But I'm not taking it home with me. It can stay here.
It's a present.
One of these days, I'm going to buy an Elsa doll and just leave it somewhere here.
What makes you think I haven't already got one for you? When the family returned from their holiday, all was still okay. Woo! From the way I've told this story, you probably think that things were about to escalate, but honestly, things were fine for the Madonias from this point. Until... shortly after their return, Aurelia was out playing in the garden. When Aurelia came in, she chillingly said to Emily, "Mum, I saw the Elsa doll again in the backyard." Shit! Surely not. Emily went outside to check, and sure enough, tucked away in a corner against the wall was mother-funking Elsa. Emily could do nothing but shake in fear and take a photo. This photo, which I'm now showing Mr Moonwalker, sure enough, does show little doll Elsa chilling against a wall outside.
This does show little Elsa chilling against the wall outside with her arm in the air like she's being held hostage. And what could have happened here is someone could have just picked up an Elsa doll, put it against the wall, taken a photo.
They could have, but there are markings on it.
What markings? Because from this picture...
I'm not saying we can see them in this picture. They could be on like the back or underneath the clothes and whatnot. But they did verify this is 100% the same doll.
Okay. Breeze block. At this point, you either destroy the doll in its entirety or you breeze block it.
That's what you do.
Like, you're chopping
option.
this doll into pieces or burning it. You're doing one or the other. And then if the doll starts to scream and then charge at you all burnt and crisp, then you shoot it in the heart.
Call a priest. Or a voodoo practitioner.
Shoot it in the heart.
Well, Emily's a little bit more rational than that. Emily decided that if throwing the doll out didn't work, there was only one solution left. Post it to a friend.
Fuck off.
This is exactly how I deal with this too. Post it to Granville. In Emily's case, Emily mailed the doll to her friend Chris Hogan, who lived around 1,300 miles away in Minnesota. Brother!
Minnesota.
Chris was slightly amused by the tale of a haunted Elsa doll, and Chris doesn't believe in ghosts exactly. Chris has definitely not pissed off the possessed Elsa doll at all, and yes, I say that in jest, because when Chris received the doll, Chris taped the doll to the brush guard on the front of his Jeep car.
To be fair,
Uh-huh.
I would probably do something similar.
Yeah.
So, back in the day, on my roller skates, I had a piglet from Winnie the Pooh
Yeah.
strapped to the front of my roller skates. So, yeah, I can see that. It looks pretty cool.
I've just shown Mr Moonwalker a photo of this, obviously, and we'll try and post this to our Instagram at But It Was Aliens.
She looks to be chilling.
She's going to get dirt all up in her grill. Flies in her teeth.
I'm sure he'll give her a wash.
People on Facebook where these events were originally shared were quick to point out that the family, or Chris, should have burned the doll. Smart people. If it didn't burn, they'd know they had a problem. If it did burn, problem solved. As our allegedly true friends from a well-known podcast like to say, burn it down and move on. Just as you suggested, sir.
However, if it's anything like Chucky, then just burning it won't really do anything. Just come back.
Doesn't get rid of the spirit.
Charred body.
Or what if it's kind of like a demon being contained in a vessel? You burn the vessel, the demon is free to start possessing people.
Does it bother you though?
How do you mean?
When it's free, does it go, I'm still gonna fuck you up, or does it just fuck off?
Well, it depends, I guess. It might bother you.
Yeah.
It could enter you.
Burn it and find out. If that happened to me and I burned it and become a demon, I'd make a pact with it that I have to come and fuck with you first.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I did say I'd post it too, to be fair, so that is on the cards. Since Elsa left the Madonias, strange things have started happening at the Madonia family home. What's got you? You're not thinking of that bloody scene again, are you?
No. I pictured myself being possessed, coming and fucking with you, and then just like being in midair outside your bedroom window doing the dance of joy.
Numva!
Where the fuck my brain goes sometimes in midair.
Emily has shared that doors in the house continue to open and close by themselves. Lights have been flickering.
Whoa.
They pissed off the spirit.
Whoa. Continue to open and close.
Yes.
When did they start?
After they sent the Elsa doll away. And they continued on. It didn't just happen once.
So what happened is that there was already a demon in the house or some form of spirit that decided
To manifest in the doll?
not to manifest in the doll. Maybe it was its little demon offspring. Its little demon seed. Something. It liked the doll. It kept calm because of the doll. And now the doll is too far away from its grasp, so it cannot pull the doll back. So it's now pissed.
Maybe. Lights have also been flickering and the television has turned itself on several times. I think this is a time for us to ask, is the Elsa doll benevolent or is it an evil entity?
It's a evil entity.
Perhaps the
Who
doll
is now pissed off that its favourite doll is gone.
Perhaps the doll witnessed a traumatic event and that negative energy is manifesting in the doll. In this theory, the doll would have no soul per se and is purely energy that needs cleansing. The doll appears to be clinging to the living, wanting to be loved. Has Elsa been haunted by a ghost, and if so, why? Did a spirit meet an untimely end, or perhaps a younger, Spanish spirit doesn't understand how to cross over and is lonely? Or is the doll attempting to stay close because it is using a member of the Madonia family to cross over, gradually taking on their consciousness unbeknownst to the rest of the family? Or is Elsa housing a gosh damned demon? What does the demon want? And you've already dropped in there the theory that it's not the doll at all, it's something in the house.
So in that case, would the doll be a vessel, or would the doll just be something that the spirit in the house liked?
Possible.
Maybe it was its favourite Frozen character.
Maybe, like we say, there's a young spirit in that house that doesn't understand how to cross over and was playing with that doll. And they've taken that doll away.
Over time, they realised how they could talk through the doll.
See? Don't look at Mummy's drawer.
So at that point, if it is a case of the spirit possessing the doll, the first 2 times it got thrown away was the spirit housed within the doll and was able to make its way back home, or Was it like a octopus and could reach out and bring the doll back? Like a long tethered arm.
Octopus. I'm going. Can we explain this one with science? Spirit possession exists in many religions and cultures ranging from Haitian voodoo, Buddhism and Christianity to shamanism, Islam and Native American, for example. Science!
Voodoo, you voodoo bitch.
Is it possible that this was just a little bit of fun for Emily on social media and that the family never really expected this to go viral? The interviews I've seen transcribed with Emily don't come across that way, but it's definitely possible. Is it possible that the refuse collectors saw the toy in the rubbish and thought that they were doing a good deed and returning it, lobbing it in the back garden? Then did someone see it in the garden, possibly one of the kids, and bring the doll inside without really thinking it through? It's possible, but we can't prove it. Did Matt or Emily do this for a laugh? A practical joke on their significant other, but when it took off and got serious, they could no longer admit to it. It's possible, but we can't prove it. Is it possible that the paranormal activity at the Madonia family home is being caused by gusts of wind, old fuses, or even house wiring in need of replacement? It's possible, but we can't prove it with the information at hand. And that's basically the issue with this one. We can't prove any explanation. You'll therefore just have to put your faith in me as a Harvard-level reliable researcher and believe me when I tell you that this one is spookies.
Once we spoke about the things going on in the house, and I started to come up with different theories as to why those things could go on. At no point did I believe it. I was just coming up with theories.
Yep.
I know we're not at the point of concluding.
Yes.
But I'm very strongly swayed towards a story that has been made up for social media.
That's interesting you say that, considering where I'm going in the next section.
And it's simply because are any of these two writers, are they fans of horror?
I don't really know. What I will say, though, is you mentioned that Matt looked sinister at the start. It's Emily who's the poster about this. Did Matt play a joke on Emily, but then when she posted it and it started going viral, he then
couldn't admit to it.
Yeah. So now he's made his significant other believe in the paranormal.
And to be fair,
and he's got to bear that cross.
Every time it's been thrown out, isn't it him that's thrown it out? That's thrown it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he's fucking with Brie.
I actually found Emily's original Facebook posts, and sadly, the lack of batteries detail doesn't appear to have been in Emily's original account. It was most likely added by one of the media outlets who picked up on this and did some sensationalising. As of October 2020, Elsa doesn't appear to have found their way back to the Madonias, though the paranormal events we touched upon do continue. Is this a case we'll return to in the future? The family home was never blessed or cleansed, and the Elsa doll was never exorcised. I stalked Emily as well as Chris on the Twitter, and both appear to still be alive, unless the spirits are tweeting through their accounts. Time will tell, and we will be watching.
We have... What actually didn't dawn on me at all was the media outlets sensationalising it. I mean, definitely that's something that they would do and could do, but for some reason it just didn't cross my mind.
I've sensationalised this one myself.
Also,
just to clarify some details, Aurelia was 1 when she received the doll.
Oh yeah, fuck off. That doll's not being used as much as they claimed in those 2 years.
Well, in 6 years.
In 6 even.
It could be used more and more as she was sort of 2, 3, 4. Favourite toy?
Play with me.
No. I'm not believing that. Kids like boxes. Like cardboard boxes, wrapping paper, that kind of shit. They're not fussed about toys. I was going to go somewhere and I've totally forgot where I was going.
Were you going to swing 180 and get on board?
I was going to touch upon the things that happened in the house.
Yep.
Dodgy lighting, wiring, and doors opening and closing. Do they all happen at the same time or
No.
different occasions?
Different occasions.
Do the doors opening and closing tend to be when there is wind?
It's not windy all the time, but I don't have the times and dates of every single occasion that everything has happened.
But the doors opening and closing don't happen all the time.
Right.
So if it's not windy all the time, the doors don't open and close on their own all the time, it could happen at the same time. The electrics in the house, I was going to ask if they happen when it rains.
Again, not that I'm aware of, but...
If you're about to tell me that it doesn't rain all the time, I'm about to ask, does the electrics flicker on and off all the time?
It doesn't rain all the time.
Do the electrics flicker on and off all the time?
No. But not only when it rains. I have on good authority that I've just sensationalised. In summary, we've met Texas couple Emily and Matt along with their daughter Aurelia and Aurelia's frozen doll who they just couldn't let go. Elsa. Elsa had started to show some funny signs since her arrival in 2013. 2 years after the family got the doll, Elsa began switching her language between English and Spanish. There was no switch to control this. By 2019, Elsa had decided to only communicate in Spanish. One day, Matt and Emily heard Elsa speaking Spanish in the bedroom. Not only had Elsa never had a replacement battery in the 6 years of Aurelia's ownership, but Elsa was switched off. Emily and Matt threw the Elsa doll out. About a week later, Elsa returned, appearing in a storage bench in the living room. This time, Matt threw Elsa out more thoroughly, double wrapping, weighing down and watching the rubbish collection. Elsa was gone. The family went on holiday, and when they returned, Aurelia found the very same Elsa doll in the family garden. Admitting defeat on the throwing out front, Emily posted Elsa to her friend Chris Hogan, brother, in another state. Chris taped Elsa to the front of his Jeep. Since sending Elsa away, the Madonia family home has been experiencing symptoms of a poltergeist, ghost, or demon. There have yet to be any further developments though. Do you want to go back over whether Elsa is negative energy, a ghost, or a demon, Mr Moonwalker?
No. However, the English-Spanish voice switch. I seem to recall, I'm not sure what Toy Story it is.
Yes.
There's an incident with Buzz Lightyear and he gets reset to factory settings, I think, and he starts speaking Spanish.
Yeah.
Thought you hadn't seen it.
I said Toy Story is one of the ones I had
You
seen.
said Toy Story 1.
I did Toy Story, didn't I?
So you've seen all 4?
I think I've seen 3 of them.
Okay.
I'm not sure on the 4th. I'm not saying I haven't, I just can't remember.
Either
My
way.
nephews used to watch them.
Yes.
Oh, Cars. One of my nephews was freaking obsessed with Cars. Is that Disney or Pixar or Disney Pixar?
Disney Pixar, I think.
Either way, I know who Lightning McQueen is.
So yeah, the factory reset. That's where I'm going with that little tidbit.
Maybe the batteries died. And it reset to default settings, but it had a tiny bit of power left, so it came back on and started speaking. So on that note, are you saying that it was spookies?
No.
Oh!
Am I fuck?
This one was great fun. I genuinely can't decide if I think that Emily believes, but the accounts were really simple and straightforward, and everyone knows that we love a good ghost story. Or a demon story. I say that. Clearly, I don't think that it was either, and I'm not saying that it was spookies, but I love the open-ended nature of this. Shit was still going down, which would imply that the presence remains with the Madonias. What do you think, folks? Is someone going to get chuckied? Thank you to Click to Houston, by the way, who appear to have actually spoken to Emily, as this story has been twisted in many other media accounts. Any final thoughts from yourself before we say cheerio and let it go, Mr Moonwalker? I mean, you quite clearly weren't on board the whole way along.
I wasn't. I was trying to think of the line to end on where he goes, I'm Chucky, the killer doll, and I'm famous. Or he says something along those fucking lines.
I'm Chucky, wanna play?
But that would have been a cool line to end on. But it's not going to be.
I'm Elsa. Wanna freeze?
Let it go, bitch.
That is all for today. Thank you for listening to But It Was Aliens.
I really want to get a Chucky tattoo now.
Yep. You've made Mr. Moonwalker's nipples hard. If you want to make those bad boys even harder, you can head on over to patreon.com/But It Was Aliens and sign up to become a patron of the show for less than the cost of vanilla lattes. And I would know, you'll gain access to our side probes, monthly bonus episodes where we explore paranormal cases that would make Granville's nipples too hard for the general public. Sign up and you'll turn G's nips into AK-47 bullets. Acorns! In case you have any suggestions for cases to cover that could get Granville's nipples even harder, you can hit us up with those suggestions on the Twitter at But It Was Aliens. We have a Facebook group too, but it's secret and private, so I'm not telling you that anybody can join Extraterrestrial Towers. It's rumoured that toys come to life in the towers, and I can categorically confirm that it isn't us sitting in your cupboards and watching you. Not both of us, at least. That's it for this episode, so until next time, if all the toys come to life in Toy Story, does that include Andy's mum's toys? The truth is up there! #probe.
Do they probe?